You want to take me to a kung fu movie?
3 kung fu movies.
Hey guys, it's Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and you could subscribe, that would be a huge help. Thank you so much. I do say that every time. And it is true every time. You could give us a like, you could give us a comment, and all that fun stuff. So what are we here to do today? I'm actually really excited today. This is my first ever collaborative video. So I was invited by Hong Kong Blu-rays. If you're familiar with that channel, if you aren't, go and follow them right away. They're awesome people. I've talked with them like on direct message on Instagram. We comment on each other's videos, and they're in my Facebook group. Super, super nice people. And guess what they do? You'll never guess. They review Hong Kong Blu-rays, and they're really, really awesome people. They're really passionate about the films. And so get on that. Follow them. They invited me. They're creating, along with a bunch of other YouTubers who do similar kind of channels, like A Touch of Film. If you know if you're following my channel, I'm assuming you're following A Touch of Film, or at least know about it, because he has a lot more subs than I do. And then Amflet Reviews, who you must know, because Andrew Amflet has sent me movies from the UK. He sent me this Once Upon a Time in China box set, and I sent him some stuff from Criterion in the US that was unavailable over there. So we've had a little rapport on the channels and mentioned each other and stuff like that. Martial Arts Theater 3000. I wrote the whole list down here because I didn't want to forget anyone, because this is a really awesome group of people. We've been chatting a lot in anticipation of this video. Film Fan Dojo, Fanatical Dragon. Fanatical Dragon is awesome. He's emailed me before, and we've kind of exchanged, just thoughts about our favorite movies and things like that. He's a super nice guy. And so we've all kind of gotten together and decided to do lists of our top 5 favorite Hong Kong actresses. Now, I was actually going to do, I had decided a long time ago to do a list of my favorite performers. So actors, be it male or female, whatever, just do a list of my top 10. And I never got around to it. And so when I was invited to do this list of top 5 actresses in collaboration with all these other amazing channels, I was really excited to do that. And that was my impetus to do it. I'm going to give you 2 little caveats before I start this video. One, it is hotter than in the room that I am filming in right now, and the sun is like right there. So I cannot see myself on my little monitor as I usually can. I don't know what my hair is doing. I don't know what's happening. It's just really hot. I'm going to be sweating, and I apologize. Number 2 is that I don't feel well, and I haven't been feeling well for weeks. And so if you've been watching the channel and you've noticed that we were not releasing videos every day, or not as up to snuff as I used to be, or not responding to comments as quickly, it's because I haven't been feeling well for quite a while. And everything's fine. I'm not like dying or anything. I just been having some burnout from, I've been really busy at my job and a lot of other stuff. So I'm just going to put that caveat out there in case I seem distracted in this video, or sometimes I can't find my thoughts as quickly as I normally can. So top 5 favorite Hong Kong actresses. I'm going to give 2 honorable mentions. I don't think I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to only mention 5 in the video. It was really hard for me to leave out Karina Lau and Bridget Lin, and I just wanted to throw those names out there so they were in the video, so you know that I thought about them, and I really wanted to put them on here. Moon Lee is another name that was really hard for me to leave out. Those 3 were like, ugh, it was really hard. Okay. At number 5, I have Lily Lee, because how can you not love Lily Lee, the Shaw Brothers legend? Black Magic 1 and 2, Executioners from Shaolin. She's in Come Drink With Me, which is like one of the most legendary movies ever. 8 Dagger and Pole Fighter, Disciples of the Thursday Chamber, Oily Maniac, Web of Death. Like, so many of these incredible Shaw Brothers films. And the thing that I really like about her is that I think that she has this really great ability to be very kind of like charming and sweet, but then also be kind of a badass. And it's kind of like she balances these 2 qualities in a way that I think is, she doesn't get a lot of credit for, maybe, and it's kind of hard to do, because when you think about performers, you tend to think of badasses and you tend to think of sweet and charming people as different categories. And there are people like Jackie who can kind of go back and forth, but I think there aren't that many people who can go back and forth between those 2. And I think she does that really, really well, and I've always just loved her presence. She has a very kind of bright presence in films, and she brings like joy to films, even though, Oily Maniac, it's not a happy movie, but she has this kind of lightness to her that's really appealing. So that's my number 5. At number 4, I have Cherry Chung. How can you not love her? She's just incredible. In Wild Search, I think that I actually talked, Frank Jeng and I kind of exchanged like thoughts about this when I did my review of the Wild Search Blu-ray. And he talks about this as well. And he actually jokes that his commentary track on that Blu-rays, the Cherry Chung appreciation track, but she's I think that because she's so easy on the eyes, she often does not get enough credit for how good she was as an actor. And she's very, very good in Wild Search. And the way that she can play this kind of naive person who's from a kind of an isolated area, but who's not, naive is the wrong word for it. She's very sweet, and she's very kind of parochial is maybe the way to put it, but not in the negative way. Like, she handles herself well. She has dignity, and she knows a lot of things that, like, for instance, the Chow Yun-fat, who lives in the city, and he's a cop, and he's, like, educated and all this stuff. He knows all about living in the wild city, but, like, for instance, when he gets sick, she knows all this stuff about traditional Chinese medicine, and, like, she goes and buys him a teapot, and, like, how can you tell if the teapot's not going to have any cracks in it? Like, she knows a lot of stuff, and she's very intelligent in her way, in the way that suits her way of life. And she has a lot of dignity, and she's stuck in a very unfortunate position as a woman in this very traditional way of life, but she's not a doormat, and she's not just eye candy in that film. And she brings a tremendous amount to that role, and she speaks a lot without saying a lot, if you know what I mean. And, I mean, she's in so many great movies. She's in Winners and Sinners, which you'll know if you watch the channel is one of my favorite Hong Kong films. She's in Once a Thief and Autumn's Tale. She's in Peking Opera Blues, Last Romance, The Story of Wu Viet. She's in Prince Charming, which I absolutely loved, and I thought she was great in that movie. She's very funny. But I really think she's underrated as an actor. I think in Wild Search, she really proves that. So that's Cherry Chung, and I have her at number 4. At number 3, rest in peace, the most legendary, the unfortunately very early departed Anita Mui. Anita Mui is incredible. Anita Mui has a talent for physical comedy that I think rivals Jackie Chan. Like, if you watch Miracles, if you watch Drunken Master 2, if you watch Rumble in the Bronx, like, I think she really, really holds her own against Jackie Chan with regards to the physical comedy. She's like Mae West. She's like one of these, like, Katharine Hepburn, like, old school movie stars. She takes no shit from anyone. She's super funny. She just has so much charisma. She's so great on camera. She can do drama. She can do comedy. Obviously, she was a huge star as a singer. Her talent is just immense and immeasurable, and she's so incredible, and she has such a tremendous presence. And like I said, that her comedy is what, where her as the stepmom in Drunken Master 2, Jackie's stepmom, and in Miracles when she's playing opposite Jackie, like, she really does not back down from him, and she is not diminished in his presence. And there are so few performers who can be on screen with Jackie Chan and not disappear behind what he does, his magnetism, his acting ability, his comedy, his martial arts. And she's right there with him every step of the way. And I'm not just saying women, I'm saying anyone. It's really hard to stand next to Jackie Chan on screen and not just be, window dressing, or what's the expression I'm looking for? Set dressing? I don't know. As I said, I'm not feeling well, but she does it, and she does it so well. She's such an incredible performer, and I love her. And so she's number 3 on my list of top 5 Hong Kong actresses. At number 2, I mean, it's pretty predictable from here on out. The top 3 is pretty predictable. How can you not have Michelle Yeoh on your list? She's been in so many great, incredible, classic Hong Kong films. Yes, Madam, Magnificent Warriors. Obviously, she's in Super Cop. She's in Super Cop 2. She's in Tai Chi Master. Tai Chi Master. She's in Heroic Trio. She's just, the thing that's so incredible to me about Michelle Yeoh, and I'm going to use Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which I realize is not a Hong Kong film, as the example of, I think that her performance in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is one of the great screen performances of all time. What I mean by that is that she's so great as an actor in that film. The emotion, the way that she keeps the emotion inside of herself, that it's there. It's not just a hollow, quiet performance. It's almost like Brando. She brings so much intensity without letting it spill out, but you see it there. And it's there, and it brings so much chemistry to her scenes with Chow Yun-fat, and she brings so much gravitas to the romantic core of that film. And yet the martial arts performances in that film are incredible. Like, that's like top elite tier martial arts performing in that film. And yet it's also an incredible acting performance. And the fact that she did both of those at the same time, I really think you can point to that as like one of the all-time great screen performances for what she does in that film. Michelle Yeoh is incredible. She's still acting. She's still incredible. I mean, she was in Sunshine, the Danny Boyle film, incredible in that. Obviously, she was in Crazy Rich Asians. She's been in so many great Hollywood films. She's in Gunpowder Milkshake, which just came out on Netflix. You really can't underestimate how great of a performer she is, how great of a martial artist, how great of an actor, and the fact that her career is still going and she's still so successful. So Michelle Yeoh. And obviously you know who's number one. If you know anything about anything, if you know about me, if you watch this channel, if you know the films that I love, it could be no one but Maggie Cheung. I mean, who's a better actor than Maggie Cheung? I can point to people who I think are as good as Maggie Cheung as actors. I don't know if I can point to anyone who's better than Maggie Cheung. In her early career, and she's talked about this in interviews before, she was really kind of cast as like eye candy. She was like the pretty girlfriend who was very charming, who was very sweet. She's in Prince Charming. She's in Police Story in that role, obviously Police Story 2. And she plays a lot of those roles, and she plays those roles really well. And yet, as tears go by, Days of Being Wild, In the Mood for Love, she turns in these incredible dramatic performances, and she can do so many different types of roles. She can, and as tears go by, to me, she's essentially the moral center of that film, and she carries so much of that movie, and she's just so phenomenal. And I think that her ability transcends Hong Kong cinema, and she is just a great actor. And I think that is true of all of the people on this list, but I think she especially stands alongside like the great actors of all time. And that's not to diminish the accomplishments of anyone else on this list, but I mean, in Hero, and she's Ashes of Time, she's in such a small part, but it's such an important part, and it brings so much to that film. She's one of those people, it was like she was born to be on screen. She just devours the screen. You can focus on nothing else when she's on the screen, and she holds her own against any other type of performer, and she can play so many different types of roles, and she just disappears into them, and she's incredible. So my name is Will. This is my list of my top 5 favorite Hong Kong actresses, as invited to do this by Hong Kong Blu-rays. If you're not following them, please go follow them immediately, and I thank them for inviting me to do this. I had a great time doing it. It was really fun making this list. Let me know your list in the comments section, and we'll see you next time.